Jaws. In the most unnecessary introduction ever, we've got a flawless movie with a killer shark and a group of badasses who are just drunk enough to try and take it out. I'm Cringe Conrad, and this is Jaws. Now let's kill this son of a bitch for what he did to my boy! The movie begins with the now infamous jingle letting us know that there's something large down there, and it probably ain't friendly. Yep, that's the tune we all know and love. Cut to some kids making some bad choices that leads to one couple opting for some skinny dipping. But while one of them is an Olympic swimmer, the other's too hammered to join in. And this might be the only time booze saves somebody's life, as the lady in the water gets whipped around like she's doing the tango before she's dragged beneath the waves. And this part actually isn't very funny, so let's fast forward to some lighter material. Enter Chief of Police Martin Brody, our hero and the protector of Amity Island, who's here to make sure that everyone has a good time at the beach this summer. Oh my God! Yeesh! Woo! Man! I mean, I knew she was dead, but good God, we got a serious problem here! Chief Brody rushes to shut down the beaches, but he's bullied by the mayor and his lackeys to slow his roll. The mayor's goon squad includes the county coroner, who only minutes earlier submitted a report that the girl Brody found was indeed killed by a shark. However, now he says forget the report, dawg. I made a mistake. That girl was killed by a boat propeller now that I think about it. Yeah, there ain't no sharks to worry about. Especially since we need all them tourist monies. A dejected Chief Brody then sits on the beach and withstands a series of red herrings as paranoia continues to bubble inside his belly. But when the infamous beat drops and the aqua camera comes to life, you know somebody's about to turn into ocean Cheetos. And unfortunately, it's Alex Kintner, who was flopping around on his raft. God damn it, not Alex Kintner! To try and save face, the county scumbags and the police chief arrange a community meeting, but it backfires when Brody implodes.
Are you going to close the beaches?
Yes, we are.
Luckily, he's bailed out when creepy Mr. Chalkboard Scratching Cracker Eater guy pipes up and lets everyone know he'll massacre the shark, but they should all be aware.
It's not gonna be pleasant.
While he mulls over the creepy guy's offer, whose name is actually Quint, the chief gets distracted by Ellen, his rather vigorous wife.
Wanna get drunk and fool around?
Oh yeah.
But playtime gets postponed when one of the kids refuses to get out of the boat!
All right, Michael, out of the boat! Get out of that boat!
That night, two bums try to claim the bounty on the shark for themselves with some pot roast and a prayer. And they're lucky to escape with their lives after the shark rips their dinky pier to shreds and drags one of them out to sea. Jaws wouldn't be a classic if 30 minutes in, two morons with a hook took care of the job. So is anyone surprised? The following day, we're introduced to Hooper, an oceanographer who finds the locals aren't very friendly.
Can you tell me if there's a good restaurant or hotel on the island?
You walk straight ahead.
They're all gonna die.
And it takes them all of 5 minutes to figure out the coroner is full of shit, and a shark is behind the killings. And not some possessed boat propeller, as he previously suggested. Meanwhile, the village idiots keep trying to cash in on the shark's prize by killing every fish in sight, eventually claiming one that reminds us all that this movie predates the internet.
But what kind? What kind of shark?
It's a tiger shark.
A what?
Everyone celebrates thinking they've rid the island of the menace, but the party gets shut down when Alex Kintner's mother arrives and slaps Chief in the face. That night, Hooper visits Brody with some bottles of wine and a heart full of gold, which is when the movie really starts to take off for me, seeing the bond grow between the characters as they navigate blood-soaked waters. Anyway, Hooper says the shark that killed the swimmers is likely still at large, so with a little liquid courage, Brody proposes a clandestine operation.
Then why don't we have one more drink and go down and cut that shark open?
Martin? Can you do that?
I can do anything. I'm the chief of police.
After cutting open the tiger shark, Hooper isn't surprised to find its stomach is full of trash and not full of Alex Kent in there. But that isn't good enough for him. So after a pep talk, he convinces the chief to take out a boat with him to confront the great white threat.
Yeah, but I'm not drunk enough to go out in a boat.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
As the drunken duo tries to be late-night heroes, they locate the boat of a missing fisherman, and Hooper decides it's time to put his ass on the line, suiting up and diving in with a flashlight and a huge sack, which leads us to one of the greatest jump scares of all time. Then, after getting the shit scared out of them, the BFFs corner the mayor, whose name is apparently Larry, and politely state their case.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark. I mean, we're going to have to tell the Coast Guard. If we want to get started with the shark,
With this new information in hand, Larry requests an immediate press conference on the beach for a public service announcement.
We have, in fact, caught and killed a large predator that supposedly injured some bathers.
But his sunny day gets doused when the shark shows up and beelines for good guy Greg.
You guys okay over there?
With another shark attack putting tourism in the tank, Mayor Larry breaks down and decides to sign on the dotted line, authorizing Mr. Quint to weaponize his mystical shark-killing powers and deploy within the hour. So the chief teams up with the Mad Lad, who proposes a toast to something I think everyone enjoys.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Afterward, Hooper volunteers to join the suicide mission and loads up some high-tech machinery for the trip. Of particular interest is a shark cage, a contraption that catches the eye of Mr. Quint.
Cage goes in the water, you go in the water, sharks in the water.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
And with that, the ragtag mercenaries set off to engage in aquatic combat. On the killer shark's trail, Quint swiftly asserts his dominance by shotgunning a beer and crushing the can with his man hands. But Hooper won't be bested that easily, smashing his water in response and annihilating the paper cup to solidify his standing. Then things get awful quiet like on a beautiful day at sea. That is until... So Quint the fisherman enters his natural habitat to prepare for what's to come. And after a prolonged battle with the menace, it bites through the line and escapes the laddie's grasp. But it isn't long before it harasses the men again, providing Chief with a jump scare that will haunt his dreams for eons, and making the men aware they're officially in some deep shit.
Come on down and chum some of this shit.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
With a woman's intuition, Ellen radios the ship to check in on her husband Brody, but luckily Quint picks up to let her know that there's nothing out of the ordinary.
Your husband's all right, Mrs. Brody. He's fishing. He just got a couple of stripers. We'll bring him in for dinner. We won't be long. We haven't seen anything yet. Don't go out.
But of course the kook lied, as he's next seen at the bow of the ship trying to snipe the shark in the head. They're able to harpoon the son of a bitch with a barrel now strapped to his ass. But unfortunately, the shark's sturdy enough that he drags the barrel down into the deep. In disbelief at the strength of this beast, the others are ready to quit. But Mr. Quint the Creeper is ready to stay up all night for a twilight snipe, if that's what's required. Well, until someone breaks out the booze and the plans change a little. And as most drunken nights go, the vibe shifts from pure joy to never-ending darkness, wading through black pools of trauma, seeping just beneath the surface. Anyway, the shark comes and wrecks the party by ramming its face into the boat, which threatens to sink it because the wood it's made out of isn't very sturdy. But the guys are able to sober up at Quint's command to escape a near disaster. The following morning, as the men repair the ship, the shark strikes again, and Chief Brody's had enough as he moves to call in the Coast Guard. But Quint doesn't think he's dialed in on the right frequency, so he steps in to assist.
Coast Guard, this is the Orca. Do you read me? Excuse me, Chief.
I guess the old-timers decided they're in too deep to turn back now, and he gets to work harpooning another couple of barrels to the sharks behind. But when they strap the lines to the ship and try to haul their catch to the shore, the mythical beast nearly takes the entire boat down to Davy Jones' locker. The shark then flexes on its prey with some barrel-sinking theatrics that blow Quint's mind, who thought he'd seen it all. And the fish's display of force spirals the captain into madness, who becomes fixated with the idea of exploding the ship's engine.
Wait, don't put that much pressure on it. Wait, God damn it!
Head up! Get back there! All right, stop the boat. Stop the boat! Stop it!
With a piece of shit boat halfway in the drink and no options left due to Quint's fuckery, Hooper volunteers to get in the shark cage and stab the beast in the mouth with a poisonous dart to put him down for good. And the second this guy submerges in the sea, it's clear you'd need cojones the size of cannonballs to get this job done. I mean, this isn't just any shark. This is a fucking Megalodon. And it takes about 30 seconds for Hooper to realize he's made the biggest mistake of his life that will be ending rather shortly. Luckily, he's able to escape and hide on the ocean floor, but his friends above see a smashed cage and have to imagine he's human chum. And at this point, we've entered the endgame as the shark is done fucking around with its food and is ready for the main course. So it leaps out of the water and smashes the boat, causing its final descent to begin. And sadly, our man Quinn is the first casualty, as he's such a committed seaman his entire body's covered in slime, causing him to slip down the deck and fight off the beast with his cleats. But it's only a matter of time before he mistimes a kick and winds up in some seriously deep shit. Suddenly halfway down the shark's mouth and screaming like a bloody schoolboy. I'm sorry, but we have to take a moment here to pour one out for Quint, the low-key star of this movie. It wouldn't have been the same without the scurvy dog, who's immortalized with his heroic death on screen. So here's to you, buddy. You're the reason it took me 20 years to swim in a pool. Anyway, in the eerie silence of a sinking ship, Chief Brody realizes that the situation isn't exactly optimal. Especially since the shark is already hungry again, only seconds after inhaling Captain Quint. However, in a stroke of luck, he's able to fend off the shark with an oxygen tank before tossing it into his mouth. But with the ship sinking fast, he's only got one shot at this left. And as we collectively climax, the Chief lands the shot heard round the world while delivering an endlessly cool final line and cheering in disbelief.
Smile, you son of a...
The movie wraps up with Hooper rising to the surface to Brody's delight, although they mourn the loss of the mad lad. And together they swim to shore as a trail of laughter follows them. Happy the insanity they just experienced has finally come to an end. And damn, is there really anything else I can say about this one? Jaws set the world on fire with its release, single-handedly creating what would become known as the summer blockbuster, and reducing beach towel sales by 62%, as parents no longer needed to dry off their children. It's a perfect film that never gets old, even if my boy Quinn ain't around to share in the celebration. But hey, I'm Cringe Conrad, and if you want to see some more highlights, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below.